Hello, this is Malorian, and this is the Orc Tactical Team. This is kind of a missing tape in a way, because when I first did my big series on the new book, Orcs and Goblins, I did a video called Hordestars. You might have actually kind of seen it. I'd actually, at the time, had been just dumping them all at the same time, and this one I'd actually mislabeled chariots. And that's because one of mine, somehow, I don't know what part of the transfer got lost. So, I'm getting a lot of requests to now have this back, because people want to know what my thoughts are on Hordestars. And since I forgot to do this last weekend, that's what I'm doing on my laptop. So sorry about the quality. This is just to make sure you get this out there. And this is actually a topic I'm fairly passionate about, because a big thing to me in 8th is all about the horde, right? It's all about bigger is better. You get the more attacks if you horde up, and you want to do it with your elite units so you can just decimate things. And really, I think that's even a level of judgment for each one of the army books. The better horde star you can create, the better of a tier of an army you have. And so it really comes to the question, well, how does Orc and Goblins rank up? And they rank up fantastic. They not just have a good horde star, they have several good horde stars. Now, let's start off with the two big ones, which is going to be your black orcs. And in the last edition, black orcs were the best one to be hoarding up. You want something that has one really strong attack, and I say one in general because when you start going to getting support from multiple ranks, you're only going to get one anyway, and as strong as possible. That's why those Chaos Marauders, the great weapon, are such a great choice. So black orcs are only unit that can take a great weapon, great at hitting, and worked out great. Going to this new book, they're a point cheaper. They now have immune psychology. Their great weapons get +1 strength as well in the first turn. So just like before, they're a fantastic choice. However, they now have some competition. And one of the very interesting ones is the Troll Horde Star. Trolls, going from last edition to this edition, had a great reduction in points. And they also went from rare to special, where you can also have the room to make these big hordes. Trolls are fantastic, of course, because they're monstrous infantry, and even though they have multiple attacks, which I said is sometimes wasted, because monstrous infantry keeps those attacks as you go back to the ranks, you can get devastating numbers of high strength attacks. So they're strength 5. And so the first thing when I'm comparing these two hordes is I look at the wounds. You know, because if you're going to go really elite, then all of a sudden you start running to the danger of war machines. Well, interestingly, trolls went so far down in points that you actually get more wounds per point for trolls than you do with black orcs. And then protecting those wounds, black orcs have a 5+ armor, and the trolls have regen, which is just better. Unless for some reason you're up against flaming arrows or something, that regen is pretty much always equal to or better than having that 5+ armor. So right from there, I don't want to hear any comments about, oh, cannons are just going to take you out. Well, for the most part, you're pretty much better having this. I guess, yes, if you're up against flaming cannons, that's a bad thing, but we'll get to that comparison at the end. The main thing is when I started running the numbers, I did the numbers with looking at the worst case scenario. So against weapon skill 3 fighters. That means black orcs are hitting on 3+, trolls are on 4s. Well, all the time, trolls beat out the great weapons. They just didn't have enough attacks, and you know, this is assuming the an equal points of both. You know, we also have the troll stomp that's going in there. Trolls has outperformed black orcs when you get up to the horde size. Well, I guess it's not equal points because trolls are going to be at... I think I did actually do it at equal points. Anyway, we'll have to do the math again. So this is the problem, is I did this so far back. But either way, either the trolls outperform them at equal points, or of course, if you brought it all the way up to a full horde, they're just going to outperform them even more. Anyway, the other part of the story was that when it got to the dual choppas, they were even in the first round when they had the extra strength, but after that, trolls just got better. So it was really interesting just to see that the trolls, which before were not really thought as a good unit or, you know, as a little throwaway or support unit, now could operate even better than this, I would say, almost famous black orc horde star and outperform it. So now getting back to those drawbacks, of course, if you're against things like flaming cannons doing multiple wounds, then all of a sudden they're going to be losing them faster than black orcs. Black orcs are going to be greater or better for taking on a building because you have the 10 guys with 2 attacks rather than the 3 guys with 3 attacks. But at the same time, you get the trolls that have cause fear, and so you might get something from that. Trolls are faster, and as well, trolls always have that option for puking. So if you're ever against, you know, say a bunch of knights or something, or some tough character that's weapon skill 7, and you'd be hitting on 5s, you just puke on them, right? Strength 5, automatic hit, no armor save. So you have that flexibility as well. So really interesting. Sorry that I forgot the math hammer behind it, but again, if you don't believe me, just do it yourself. Do the comparisons, and the truth is in the numbers. Now, as I said, we don't just have those 2. There's also others. Another great one, which, in honesty, it was probably good before as well, is I noticed the Squig horde. Now, Squig herds are great. They're weapon skill 4. They have 2 strength 5 attacks, which sounds just like Black Orcs when they're going with 2-in-hand weapons, except they're significantly cheaper. You have to kind of work in that they also have to have those handlers with them, but at the same time, they only need to have 1 handler for every 3 instead of 2 for every 3 like before. And I'd also am kind of thinking that because you see less general shooting and more templates and getting combat sooner, that you're actually going to be losing less of those handlers anyway, so you can get away with just having 1 for every 3. Fantastic unit. Of course, its drawbacks is its lower toughness and has no armor. So a good thing you can compare that one against is that if you're ever against something that's going to have high strength anyway, you know, when Black Orcs are up against something like White Lions, they're going to wound it on a 2+ no armor anyway, well, go throw your Squig herd at them. And so there's a fantastic little thing to throw in there. And best yet, when they're in their last kind of death throes and they've almost been beaten, if that ever comes up, they explode and hurt the enemy anyway. So it's a little fun thing, and again, they're immune to psychology, so you can throw them off on a flank and just let them do their thing. They're, as well, fairly good at taking on buildings, so that's another plus. But there's even one more, and this one doesn't come from the specials, it comes from the core. And, sorry, that's with the Savage Orc Big Guns, because Big Guns is now a nice cheap upgrade with extra hand weapons. You know, great. Your weapon skill 4, 3 strength 5 attacks. You know, throw these guys in hordes. That's tons of killy action. And then you support them and you get the synergy with them. First of all, they're core, so they can start using up your core if you want to go with all hordes. And secondly, you can be doing the synergy with the shrunken head, so all of a sudden they have a 5+ ward. You just get the synergy then with your characters, because you can have, well, first of all, the character that had that, well, okay, this is a great place for your great shaman to hide, because his ward will jump up to a 5+. You know, maybe you're going to go with a Savage Orc War Boss, so he'll get a free 5+ ward for nothing. And at the same time, there's also that our Chains Mork Spirit Totem also is very interesting in this unit, because it gives you a magic resistance of D6, so you never know what it is, but that compounds with your ward save. So having a greater ward save of a 5+ means that you have a greater chance of getting to that maxed out 2+ ward save. In fact, that's going to be happening half the time, you know. Or so basically on a 4-, you're going to be, or what is it? If you at least have a 3, so sorry, a 3+, you're going to be having a 2+ ward against any magical attacks. Now, true, that doesn't save you against some things like templates, but if you have people that are sending magic missiles at you, you know, they're using gate, you know, the Tazim spell, this goes against you, boom, 2+ wards, nothing ever happened, right? Somebody's trying and snipe your characters where you still get your ward, boom, you got that, sorry, you couldn't snipe my guy, I made my 2+ save. So, fantastic unit, best thing in its core, and one of the nice things about all these hordes is that they are not that all super expensive. In fact, I found that in 3,000 points, you can fit in a horde of trolls, a horde of black orcs, and a horde of the Squig herds. So, if you can just imagine, you're having, you know, black orcs on one side, immune to psych, you have your herd on the other side, immune to psych, you have your trolls in the center, which are there to keep the leadership, because that's pretty important, being stupid. And then fill in your core. You know, maybe you got your Savage Orc horde here, and, you know, my good old favorite 100 Night Goblins over here, or however you do that mixture. Bam, right? That's hard hitting all the way across the line. So, Hordestars, a great way to measure an army book, and Orcs and Goblins, they come out pretty near the top. So thanks for watching.